Hello and welcome. I wanted to talk today a little bit about what game systems I plan to stream, am currently streaming, as well as just talk through some stream games in general. Beforehand, I went through and sort of organized a little bit of this to make it so that it'd be clearer to go through. Basically, all of the systems here, I don't currently have a plan to stream them. And then these ones here, I could stream them, but don't currently have plans to do so. Let's start going through. So the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, I can use the Mr. FPGA for that. I might play some SMB3 in the future because, and also some SMB2. There's some interesting ROM hacks there, especially in like the Kaizo space. So yeah, that would be interesting to go through. Game Boy, same thing. I currently do SNES streaming through the Mr. FPGA as well. So Game Boy and Game Boy Color, both of these, there's like some Legend of Zelda games I want to play that I know I want to play. There's also apparently a bunch of like really niche but interesting RPGs that are available. And I would love to give a go at those, either as like a standalone YouTube video or something I do on stream. Nintendo 64, I think you can now play it on the Mr. FPGA, or if not, they're like actively developing. But I have a Nintendo 64 with the memory expansion pack, so I can stream all of that from real hardware. Nintendo Virtual Boy, a much loved system. Yeah, this one kind of flopped, but there's some interesting games there and also some interesting homebrew. I am not going to seek out getting this myself, like the physical hardware, but I'm going to do some software emulation. There was apparently a piece of emulation software put out for the 3DS that allows for you to play the Virtual Boy games, and that seems really interesting to me. I'd like to play like the Wario Land game. At least that one I'd be interested to play through. I'd like to play through all the Wario Land games at some point. I'm gonna go a little bit out of order here. So Sony PlayStation, I could do that immediately right now with hardware emulation. And for early days, I might go ahead and do that. But I'm actually gonna put it down here alongside the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3. My goal at some point is to get the PlayStation, like one of the models of PlayStation 3 that is backwards compatible, able to play all three systems. So that's how I'd like to play through that. Xbox, I think we're going to put that in hardware. I know it's about like half the games or something like that are capable of being played from software emulation, especially some of like the classics and stuff. I just really like the modding scene, like the hardware modding scene. So it's more of like for fun projects of assembling those sorts of things. Plus, like, even though it's digitized games, there's still something very tactile and physical about like having the original console to play with. So I'm trying to do that as much as possible. Game Boy Advance. I have a game that I'm planning to stream here. Scourge Hive? Scourge something. I'll put the box art here. Yeah, so I have a plan for this Game Boy Advance game. It was also simul-released on the DS, so I could potentially play it there instead, but either way, Game Boy Advance games I do intend to play at some point. Like, there's some good Legend of Zelda games, and I'm going to use hardware emulation for that. Nintendo GameCube, real hardware. I don't have a GameCube myself, but I have a Wii that has GameCube capabilities. So that's how I'm going to be playing GameCube stuff, playing it off my Wii. Sega Dreamcast. There are a ton of super interesting games, like some Sonic games, as well as like RPGs, and very like a bunch of unique games came out on the Dreamcast that didn't really come out anywhere else. So I do want to play this, and this is another one that I would shoot for hardware for it. Xbox 360, again, this is hardware acquisition. Like, this one's even harder to do like software emulation, but the modding scene for the Xbox 360 is super interesting. A lot of really cool mods for like NetBoot and stuff like that. So I'd be interested in working with those. I did remove some duplicates. So there's the DS Fat here, which I do have a capture card for. Decided to go with DS Lite. For this, I'm not going to be playing it on like the DS Fat. or the DS Lite. What I'm going to do is, just because it has a better screen, I have a 2DS XL that has a capture card, and I'm going to use that for capturing DS games. So speaking of which, put new 3DS XL for it, but you know what, let's go with it. It's actually more of this that I'm going to be doing. Using 2DS XL, PSP, and the PS Vita. I don't know what to count these under. The PSP and the PS Vita, I don't know what to count these under, because I'm going to be playing it off of the PS TV. The PS TV is like Vita hardware in like a little TV box. So it's not emulation, so it's real hardware. And I think it's not emulation for the PSP stuff either. I'm not positive on that, so I'm going to say it's real hardware, but it might be like the software emulation instead. Like, I have a PS TV, but I haven't like super looked into the scene on that, so I'm not as certain on that one. Nintendo Switch, I'm currently playing Skyward Sword. Super loving that game, by the way. So yeah, doing Switch games. Might go back to Mario Maker, stuff like that. The Wii U, I plan to play it in the future. The main reason I haven't sought it out is you can use a capture card to capture like the Wii U itself, but I always strive to like be able to portray as full of the experience as possible. That's something I really enjoy and like really seek for. There was a capture card for the gamepad in the past, but they're off the market. They're not there anymore. I'm either hoping to see that capture card come back onto the market, or, you know, see like there's some projects for like some open source gamepads, and hopefully those would be easier to do display capture off of. And then finally, gaming computer, real hardware. So most games, I always target gaming computer first. Like I always target like purchasing the game for the gaming computer first, and then if it's not there, then I go to one of the other consoles. Yeah, and then just double check real quick. It's not stream, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw it up here just because I love my Steam Deck so much. Like it's very, I spend a bunch more time being able to play games because I'm like playing stuff on my Steam Deck while watching TV or something like that. So yeah, this is sort of my layout of systems that I intend to play through. These are either impossible, as far as I know. Like I could point a camera at it, but I think this is impossible to play through. And then these ones, like Commodore 64, I might take a look at and stuff like that. Some of the Sega systems, I do eventually want to play those, but like right now, I don't have any plans to be looking at that. So yeah, don't know what else to say about this other than I hope you enjoyed this little look through like what sorts of consoles I currently have set up, as well as what I plan to do in the future. My first goal for like retro hardware was being able to get like the full stack, like with hardware emulation or real hardware, being able to play like the full stack of Nintendo consoles. Just sort of like a goal. The one piece missing out is the Wii U. And then I was starting to play through that or go through that with Sony stuff with PS TV for PSP and PS Vita. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. I stream about 4 times a week. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, friends.